back to my channel. My name's Njavwa. I'm a Zambian YouTuber based in Canada. I have something on my mind and I just need to get it out there in case other people either need it or feel the same way as me. But I just cannot take the uncertainty that COVID has brought into our lives. It is ridiculous at this point, just because initially when this all came about, I legit believed I was quarantining for 2 weeks and then things would just be chill. Then I thought it was for a month, then I thought it was for 2 months, and it's nearing the end of the year already and things don't seem to be getting any better. They actually have gotten worse, at least where, in my city, we had very low cases and now they're a lot higher. And there's reasons for why that is, whether people are social distancing or not, whether social distancing actually makes a big difference or not. But you know what? I don't even want to get into that because everything is so up for debate, even wearing masks, whatever. I just want to talk about people's our emotional stability through this whole thing. Because, things have been addressed in terms of how to minimize the spread of COVID-19, but I feel like there's not enough information or enough support for people coping with the fact that this is happening and all the restrictions and stuff. And lately I've been asking a lot of questions about what is happening, you know what I mean? And I don't seem to see any answers or know where to get them, because anytime I search a question in Google, because I Google absolutely everything when I want to know something, and now when I Google a question, I literally just come up with government websites about COVID testing, COVID this, COVID numbers, but there's no questions about I don't know, maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but why are COVID tests so invasive? Can we test COVID on surfaces or stuff like that? Because if we can, why can't you just swab spit, which literally has all your genetic makeup? So it's why are COVID tests so invasive? What's the need for them to be? I have no idea why the tests are done that way. Can it not be tested by blood or just your spit, the palm of your hands, your sneeze? How come it can't be tested in the way that it can be transmitted? I'm just really confused about that, because I don't know, I don't know anything about germs. I'm not a germ specialist or whatever. I don't even okay, I'm trying not to get sidetracked with all the COVID conversation, but I really feel we have to find a way to stay positive during this time. So I asked my fiance how he feels, how he's dealing with uncertainty and how he's coping, because he's kept it moving. He's working, he finished school, starting a business, things are just working in his favor at the moment. And I was asking him how are you dealing with all this, and he said there's nothing we can honestly do about what's going on. We can't speed up the process, and we're gonna have a lot of questions that are gonna be unanswered for a very long time, regardless of whether we go back to normal or not. So he was just focus on the things that you actually have control over, everything that you're doing, do it better. Make time for educating yourself, make time for taking care of yourself, make time for developing deeper, meaningful relationships with the people in your lives, whether that be over FaceTime or just working on yourself so that you're able to meet others on that level, on that new level of understanding of life, yourself, connecting with people. So just basically trying to work at the things that are internal, because like that's you, like you're with you all the time. So you don't have to socially distance from yourself. You can work on that. And that gave me a different perspective. I mean, I kind of felt that way, but I'm like in the mind space of like finally asking questions, because normally I'm like a super optimistic person. I like to see the bright side of situations. And the fact that obviously COVID-19 is not just affecting me, it's affecting everyone. I've even felt guilty for like wanting to be upset about things that it's affected, because it's like, it's not just me, it's not a me thing, it's everybody's going through it. But yeah, being an optimist during this time, it's been very difficult to move about the way I normally do, because I'm legit waiting for this thing to end and to go back to normal. And it really aggravates me when people say normal is a thing of the past, because that doesn't make sense to me. If for some reason there's not going to be a vaccine at all for COVID-19, and that there's nothing we can do about COVID-19, I feel like, wouldn't we just have to like obviously wash our hands and take care of ourselves, be mindful of other people, but also accept survival of the fittest while working towards a solution? Because it just doesn't make sense realistically for us to live in these conditions for a very long time. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So I choose not to believe that this is the new normal. There's obviously new things that will change. Like, I used to go to work, and my coworker or even myself, we have to go to work, and we're literally coughing, like sneezing, like literally like you're blowing your nose all day. You look sick. But there's never been an employer that's like, hey, you look sick, you should go home. And I think those things will definitely not be allowed. And like, there should be even added sick days for people who live, especially in climates like here where it's cold for half the year, and like people get flus and get sick all the time. And up until this point, people have really been going to work in like sick conditions, and no one questioned it. They just assumed, okay, well, if the person feels fine and they're here, well, then that's great, because we can continue business as usual and they can get some work done. I think that those are the type of things where like there's a new normal where like that's not acceptable. Like, you should not be sick and like sneezing on the public bus. Like, no. That's ridiculous. And I think that that's what's best anyways, because nobody wants to be out when they're sick, but we honestly have to, because some of us maybe don't have sick days, or we've already used them up and you have to go. But like, in terms of like wearing masks forever, working from home, and like being in your home all the time, I don't see that being a standard, especially because we don't, at least for me, I don't understand the severity of COVID-19. If it was the type of thing where you step outside and you die, or you step outside and now you have COVID and anything can happen, I would understand like really harsh measures. And the measures we have right now, obviously maybe it's precaution because we don't really understand the virus that well. But I'm optimistic that things will turn out a lot better than some people have been saying they'll be. And I just say that because I literally have not seen any positive information out there on how we're gonna move forward. It's almost as if there's some sort of agenda to push a uncertainty or fear into the public, or that if we are taking this seriously, then we're going to adhere to the precautionary measures, which also makes sense, but I think that it's okay for us to question what is happening. And I say this only because I don't even want to get into detail about this because I just don't even want to argue. But like the same governments who come up with these solutions also thought residential schools were a good idea. They thought slavery was a good idea. They thought segregation was a good idea. They thought incarceration for like minor charges was a good idea. There's a lot of things that the government think is a good idea, but it's not. And the truth of the matter is the government is run by humans, and as humans we do make mistakes. Even if our intentions are in the right place, humans make mistakes. So just because it's the government body, it doesn't mean it's a well-oiled machine. So there will be mistakes, there will be things
that the government could have done differently.
But at the end of the day, for some reason, this pandemic and the way that the government is going about things, it has to be with the intention that it's in the best interest of civilization. Otherwise, it literally would not make sense. So, I think it's best to accept what is happening, accept it, stay informed, but limit the amount of time you spend searching for answers to questions that you may never get, or at least not for a long time. And obviously take care of yourself, take care of people around you, but ultimately come back into yourself and just think about how like even just looking back at history of how life goes. There's no way this is going to be how it is forever. God got us, y'all. Not to worry. Anyhow, that is my rant for today. Yeah. That is my rant for today. Honestly, guys, I'm so tired. If you have any ideas on like how to stay positive and optimistic during this time, please comment down below. Hit me up. Follow me on my Instagram page. Let's chat, because that's what I need. I need solutions for right now, not solutions for when things that we actually can't control. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing to be more positive, to create more happiness in our lives? That's what I want to know. Thank you for watching my vlog. I'll see you guys in my next video. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel.